What makes a narcissist panic and lose control? That's what I'm covering today. You don't want to miss this. Let's dive in. Hey friends, Tamie M Joyce here, empowerment life coach, creator of the Freedom Class and the Ascension Class. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Please take a second to say hello and introduce yourself in the comment section below. And if you're back, of course, welcome back. Thanks for showing up and for tuning in. Either way, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell to be sure to be notified when I post new videos throughout the week. So what makes a narcissist panic and lose control? Well, to begin with, it's important to understand that in spite of outward appearances, when we're talking about people who land on the spectrum of destructive narcissism, we are talking about people who are, in reality, quite fragile, frightened, and insecure. Again, despite outward appearances. This is what's actually going on beneath the surface, behind the mask, behind their phony facade and all the performing they've got going on. They are completely shame and fear-based to their core, which is why they're often such terrible bullies. So, with all of that in mind, know that nothing terrifies a narcissist more and will send them into panic mode and potentially even cause them to lose control faster than the threat of exposure. The threat of being found out for who and what they are. So, if you want to make a narcissist panic, point out flaws, shortcomings, inadequacies, and discrepancies. Like, for example, discrepancies in their story. Present irrefutable proof or evidence. Now, I'm not saying they'll agree with what you're saying or even acknowledge the irrefutable proof you're presenting. But if you want to make a narcissist panic, or at the very least squirm, shine the light of truth on all their nonsense. Again, the mere threat of being exposed for who they really are will, without question, be the fastest way to send a narcissist into panic mode and again, potentially cause them to lose control. There is nothing that will terrify a person with a destructive narcissist personality pattern more than the prospect of being found out for the fraud that they actually are. The notion of them not having control over your perception of them, or control over how others see and perceive them, is a big problem for narcissists. In fact, few things are more destabilizing for someone who lands on the spectrum of destructive narcissism than not being able to manipulate or control how others see and perceive them. Next on the list of what makes a narcissist panic and lose control is your personal power. That's right. If you want to make a destructive narcissist panic, show up with genuine self-esteem, genuine self-worth, and authentic personal power. This equates to strength of character and authenticity, which will make it virtually impossible for a narcissist to manipulate, dupe, deceive, or control you. And narcissists don't like that. In fact, it will trigger every fear and insecurity that they carry. The thing is, when you have genuine self-esteem and are grounded in a solid sense of self-worth, when you're fully empowered, the narcissist quickly realizes that they can't control your perception of yourself, nor can they control your perception of others, and they certainly can't control your perception of them. So, few things are going to be more destabilizing for a destructive narcissist than someone who actually embodies authentic personal power, a sense of self-worth and self-esteem. And it boils down to the fact that there's no fear of loss on your part. When you're operating from this place of personal power and rock-solid self-worth, real authentic self-esteem, you're not afraid of being abandoned by the narcissist. Why? Well, because you don't abandon yourself. And this in itself will trigger all of the narcissist's own abandonment issues and cause them to panic and lose control. Another way to make a narcissist panic is to stay cool. That's right. Stay cool, calm, cool, and collected, no matter what. For example, practice your ability to not engage, or if you engage at all, do so by using super short, clear, 1 or 2 word replies like, I see, or fine, and then silence, not another word. In other words, practice your ability to deliver a message in 1 or 2 words max. A message that fundamentally says, I heard you and I'm not playing. There's nothing more to say. And with practice, you'll become more and more comfortable with the uncomfortable silence that follows. In fact, your ability to remain completely unfazed by their attempts to provoke, intimidate, threaten, or terrorize you even, will be the very thing that caused them to panic and lose control, and ultimately fully expose themselves for who and what they are, which will give you the upper hand. Now, another way to make a narcissist panic is establishing, and more importantly, maintaining absolute no contact. And this is especially important when a narcissist is attempting to hoover you back into the toxic abuse cycle. And if you want to learn more about how to respond to narcissistic hoovering, you can watch this video here. But suffice to say, hoovering you back into the abuse cycle means reigniting the idealization phase through love bombing, telling you what they know you want and need to hear in order to manipulate, dupe, and deceive you, pull you back into the abuse cycle. When their attempts to play this game are met with complete and utter silence, zero response, in other words, absolute no contact, they'll panic and definitely lose control. So when they're reaching out, attempting to reconnect, and again, hoover you back in, what you already know is a painful and destructive abuse cycle, but this time they can't get through, no matter what they do, no matter what they say or how hard they try. You've blocked them across all social media platforms and everywhere else. In fact, you've even gone so far as to tell anyone who might be a little minion or flying monkey or any type of little messenger or go-between that you're not interested whatsoever. And you make it clear that the door is closed permanently and they realize they can't get through. What you're actually communicating to them is that they are, in fact, not the least bit interesting, not the least bit appealing, not attractive to you in any way whatsoever. In fact, they aren't worthy or deserving of your time, energy, or attention. They don't know what to do with that, and so panic sets in. Now, comment below and let me know whether or not you're finding value in this video. Let me know in the comments section below. Also, if you'd like to learn more about the possibility of working with me in one of my coaching programs, there's a link in the description below this video where you can apply to see if you qualify for a free one-on-one consultation with either myself or a member of my team. In addition, there's also a free gift section in the description below this video, so be sure to avail yourself of that as well. Next, if you want to make a narcissist panic, develop the ability to set healthy limits and boundaries with confidence and ease. I promise you, this is another surefire way to send a narcissist into panic mode. Few things will make a destructive narcissist panic faster than having to deal with someone who has the capacity, the ability to say no, or no thank you, and mean it. Someone who has the confidence and strength, the personal power to stand their ground, back themselves, and follow through. Here's the thing, no is a full sentence. There's nothing more to say. And developing the ability to set healthy limits and boundaries with the toxic or otherwise difficult people in our lives is something we all need to know how to do. Unfortunately, this is a skill set that few of us have learned, and an absolute necessity if we want to live a happy, healthy, peaceful, and productive life. We have to learn how to say no and mean it. And if you're questioning whether or not the difficult person in your life lands on the spectrum of destructive narcissism, there's a very easy way to find out. Set a boundary, a limit, say no. You'll find out very quickly who you're dealing with. Now, the tricky thing about this is avoiding inflicting unnecessary narcissistic injury and thus inciting narcissistic rage. You want them to understand that this is not a level playing field. You are no pushover, and toying with you is not going to end well for them. If you can communicate this effectively, great. But be sure you're doing so from a position of strength. You're not in a fragile, wounded, or vulnerable place yourself while you're attempting to do this. You want to be sure you are strong enough to endure the backlash that will inevitably come your way. Remember, behind the mask and false bravado, people who land on the spectrum of destructive narcissism are frightened, insecure, fragile, shame-based little bullies, right? So they are incredibly vindictive and spiteful, and therefore there will be backlash when they can't get their way with you. So be prepared for that, to weather the storm. It's coming. Now, the truth is, it may come in the form of character assassination through a classic smear campaign, because more often than not, that's all the narcissist has. But depending on the circumstances, it could be worse. It fully depends on the individual you're dealing with and to what degree you're enmeshed in the toxic dynamic. The bottom line is, it is fully your job to do whatever you need to do to take care of yourself, protect yourself, to heal yourself. And when you're focused on you, yourself, and your own well-being, whatever the narcissist gets up to doesn't actually have to have anything to do with you. You can, and in my view, must learn to detach and rise above it, all of it. There really is no other way. You have to save yourself and let the narcissist run with whatever narrative they're running with, long enough that they eventually hang themselves with it. The truth has a funny way of making itself known, sooner or later, especially when you're focused on the right things. Just doing you, boo. And on that note, last but certainly not least, if you want to make a narcissist panic in real time, move on with your life and live your best life, truly. This will get the job done better than anything. You taking your power back, disengaging entirely, doing your healing and recovery work for real, you stepping into your best life as your best self, literally reinventing yourself from the inside out, becoming emotionally healthy, whole, and healed, becoming professionally and financially strong, abundant, and sovereign, living a life filled with love, prosperity, and an abundance of all good things. All of this will be a testament to the fact that the narcissist has zero, and I do mean zero, power over you. No influence, no control, no power. You've moved on, for real. You've grown beyond all the nonsense, the drama, and the trauma they bring to the table of the relationship. And you are truly free now, living your best life. I promise you, as far as payback, karma, and revenge are concerned, it's as good as it gets. And you deserve at least that, and so much more. It's time now. And on that note, I'm going to call it a wrap. But before I go, you should know the Ascension Class is open for enrollment. Now, this is for you if you're ready and able to invest in yourself, you're ready to shift your identity, master the law of attraction, heal your relationship with money, and put a full stop end to the limiting beliefs and self-sabotaging behaviors that are holding you back and preventing you from living your best life. If you're ready to reinvent yourself from the inside out, create your dream life by design, and finally become the you were always meant to be, click the link in the description below this video to apply to see if you qualify for a free one-on-one consultation with either myself or a member of my team.